Okay, welcome to my channel one more time. Welcome. Thank you very much for the people that watched the last episode of Things and Things. Random name. I just I just got the name I think when I was editing, and I was like, because I'm going to be talking about a lot of things, perspectives I have on ideas that I think maybe we could find one or two like wisdom we could apply, right? A lot of times I don't believe in absolutism, right? There are cases where absolutism might be applicable, but a lot of times I think that wisdom is a dance, right? Today you have to bend, and tomorrow you have to stand as solid, firm, right? It's like, oh, there's a door you have to pass, and then sometimes like there's some kind of bar, and then you have to go over the bar or jump over it, right? It's just that per time, like there's the wisdom, like you see runners, the people that run a relay race are different from the people that do jump that jump race, right? And so if you are going to advise someone who is racing on the jump race, I don't know what the name is, I would find the original name and write it. Yeah, if you're going to be advising the person on a relay race on the same technique for the people maybe just running a normal race or a marathon, it's going to be different wisdom applicable to them. And it doesn't mean that one wisdom is less than the other. It's just that what is applicable per time. So a lot of the things I share are my processes, and if me and you are in a village, and you are going towards the market, or me and you stay together in a village, right? And we are going out. You are going towards the market and I'm going towards the river, right? If the river and the market are not on the same path, and we move together and someone gives us directions, one person will be taking the wrong directions, right? That's one of the things I think about absolutism, okay? So this is me already jumping into something. I didn't necessarily prepare to talk about this. What I wanted to really talk about today was a continuation of last week. Last week I had said this week I'll talk about the mind, but hold up, we're gonna have a lot of time. This week, one of the things I just want to continue is from why we should try. I don't think that I have elaborated that enough, because I had two reasons we don't try. Two new reasons we don't try pop up in my head. And I thought about the power of little beginnings. I thought about impostor syndrome, right? So now, one of the reasons why we don't try is impostor syndrome. And sometimes I thought about the idea of, in Nigeria we say see finish. There's an idiom that familiarity breeds contempt, right? Again, it's not absolute. I think that some people get familiar with themselves and maybe it makes themselves like maybe to go closer, right? That's not always the case. So a lot of times for greatness, familiarity breeds contempt, because hey, I have seen myself, right? And now I'm going to talk about imposter syndrome, not see finish from other people, but see finish from ourselves, right? You have seen yourself, you've seen your weaknesses, you've seen your lowest times, and how do you believe greatness about yourself, right? You are there behind your processes, you are seeing the behind the scenes that bring the great works out, and people are like, hey, you are really excellent. And then you downplay your own self, right? It happens. I downplay my own self. Like I remember having a conversation with a friend of mine a couple of like a week ago or some weeks ago, and I was talking about a particular thing I do, and I was like, it's just this and it's just that. Like I'm not so professional in it. I just do this and all. And he was like, hey, do you know that this same thing that you're just saying, just right, is something that organizations are looking for people to solve the problem for them, right? So if you keep looking at yourself as, hey, it's just that, it's just, you begin to somehow look down on your strengths, you look down on your capabilities. And in our journey, the most important person to believe in ourselves is us, right? It's more important that I believed in myself than other people believe in me. So if other people believe in me and somehow I don't believe in myself, like, there's some inner balance that I will really not have. Okay, so that is imposter syndrome sometimes from us. So when you get to do something because you think that, hey, I'm not that great at it or something and all. Of course, one of the things about it is that we want to like play humble, but confidence a lot of times doesn't mean that we know it all. Confidence is that, hey, I can learn. It's having the can-do attitude that, hey, I can learn, right? Another arm of imposter syndrome sometimes is when other people gaslight us, right? Oh, you talk about, you see how much you've shown up. You have your precedents, you have workings to show, but other people might be like, there's nothing, they ain't dying shit, right? And that could start affecting the way you see yourself. Now, a lot of times when I talk about this, we like to like tell the stories from our own perspectives because we are all heroes in our stories. But I also ask us to challenge ourselves and ask ourselves, how do we show up in other people's stories? Are we the ones that are downplaying others? Are we the ones that are doubting others? Really, there's this thing where I used to say psychological emo, where it's like I can feel myself when I'm sharing my ideas and things that I want to do. I can feel the doubt from somebody that, hey, who told you can do it? So I'm also thinking about like the Christian perspective where Jesus couldn't do any miracles in his village, in his town, because they saw him grow up. They took care of him. You understand? So you want to save the world. Of course, and there's something about like maybe him having to move out of his town and be great to others, because if he did keep listening to that, and it would be difficult for him to really show his greatness or manifest to his highest self. The next thing I want to talk about is the power of little beginnings. Last week, when I posted the first episode, is it an episode? Whatever it is. But when I first posted the first video, I got about 60 something views, and because of something I learned from, I'm going to say the person I learned from Myron Golden. He had taught about how if you put out an event and 100 people came and watched you, you will not say, oh, there are very few people, right? But somehow when we put something online and few people watch, say 60 people watch, 50 people watch, 100 people, we don't really see that as progress, because somehow technology and the whole numbers game has made us to now downplay our little progress, right? So you really don't know who you are inspiring from the 10, 15, 20, 100, 200, 500 people, consistent people that watch you. Okay, somehow, like if you show up, I think is necessary sometimes. Like it's a give and take. Like you show up for yourself, show up for others. This is a very, might be a bit radical thought, but I think that a lot of times the mango, I usually like to use the mango tree. How the mango tree, of course, wants to give fruits to people, but it's not showing up, it's not trying to give fruits to people so that people will like it. Like a mango is just going to give its fruits, right? If you like it, if you like mango, you don't like mango, it's great, right? But by being its authentic self, mango giver, mango fruits generator, the people that need the type of mango it generates navigate towards it, right? So like if you look at trees, I like using the analogy of trees. If we look at trees, we see that trees are authentic, right? A banana tree is a banana tree. Like you want plantain, oh, but it's banana, right? It doesn't really care about the people that prefer plantain. Right? So that's something that we can think about. So I've talked about imposter syndrome, we downplaying ourselves, other people downplaying us, and also just asking ourselves, how do we show up in other people's lives? Do we also downplay other people, right? And see how we can show up better for other people, while also praying to have other people show up for us. And if not, like somehow find a way, protect your energy, and come into the power of little beginnings and showing up even when it feels like the crowd is small, because the crowd is not really small. If you have 50 people watching you, or 50 people came out to see an event of yours, you will be grateful for 50 fans that you really know, truthfully. Like, oh, that 50 people are going to come listen, come watch, right? And that I'm also talking about, like being authentic, because by being authentic, by really creating what you are inspired to create, the people that need you will navigate towards you. Okay. Thank you very much for listening to this episode. I put out a new song recently called Maybe. I'm going to share all the links in my description. Thank you, and I will see you next week. It's Ruth Mahogany. Yeah.